Hey everybody, welcome to episode 62. Hate to say it, but we had some technical difficulties recording this episode. So while we still were able to get through the entire review of the 2004 NHL Draft, as we've been doing week after week here, we were only able to record up to pick 5 where we were doing the redraft. So what we want to do is in the next episode, we'll do a quick review and let you know all the different picks that we made 6 through 10. And then we'll go through the 2005 NHL Draft. So I do apologize. You're going to hear us end rather abruptly there. But thank you for tuning in. We will make that audio better for you next week. But thank you so much for tuning in. Sorry about that. But hey, we'll post it in the show notes too what that 6 through 10 was. So you let us know in the comments. Even though we won't be able to give our analysis, you let us know in the comments what you think. So thank you so much for tuning in, and enjoy the rest of the show. Hey everybody, welcome to episode 62 of the Discussion 5. That's right, we are the we're the Brothers of Discussion, here to talk about the 5 most pressing matters for your Detroit Red Wings. Of course, we've been cheating for quite a while here since there isn't too much to talk about Detroit Red Wings wise. However, we did get some news this week. But before we get into all that news, we want to remind you to go over to @BODHockey to follow along with the Discussion 5 and the Brothers of Discussion in regards to Detroit Red Wings hockey. That, of course, is our Twitter handle. And as the Brothers of Discussion, we are known for our pro wrestling coverage, which if you could head over to @BODPodcast and BODpodcast.com and brothersofdiscussion.com, which those will both get you to the hub of the Brothers of Discussion. You can follow all things Brothers of Discussion and pro wrestling and all of our takes, and including this upcoming week, since you'll be listening to this Monday morning, all of our in-your-house NXT style takes. All right, all that fun stuff. Also, brothers_of_discussion will get you a joint Instagram account of both the pro wrestling coverage and the Detroit Red Wings hockey coverage. So head on over there and you won't miss a thing. And then we are coming to you thanks to the Hockey Podcast Network that our first season is wrapping up. So these are our bonus episodes as we continue to get new Red Wings news. And we're heading into the 24 team playoff. What?
Oh, I saw you start dancing. I thought my dance moves were being infectious over there. There we go.
No.
Keep going, man.
So we're just going to keep rolling out episodes until we get too bored. Quick shout out though for the Hockey Podcast Network, the Hockey to Heroin Road to Recovery show hosted by Brady Leavold. Just recently had Darren McCarty on, so hopefully we can make funs with Brady here, and maybe the Red Wings show. Maybe we can get Darren McCarty. But no, it looks like Hockey to Heroin, a wonderful story with Darren McCarty. We all know that he's always a crazy conversation, so. Head on over to that show. That was just released this past Friday, which would make it the what was that? The 5th. Today's Sunday, right? Yeah. So June 5th. So yeah, head on over to the most recent release from Hockey to Heroin podcast, the Road to Recovery. All right, Mike, we got some Red Wings news. Albert Johansson, our second round pick, gets a 3-year entry level deal. Super fun day on Twitter when this news popped out, because I think we're all itching for some news. But Mike, this is standard fare. It's one of your draft picks. He's going to be joining the team now, so he gets an entry level deal. Nothing really to worry about here.
Yeah, but I'm very excited. Matt, listen to the scouting report. Elite skater. Whoa. Good offensive ability. All right. But Matt, most importantly, the hat trick of hockey characteristics. He's got a good brain. Good brain for the game. I don't know if that's a CTE joke. I don't know what it is, but my God, he's got a great brain. I'm so excited to meet this guy. This is from the director of player development. I don't know who Sean Horkoff's taking digs at, but he likes the brain of our newest player, man. Johan's.
Always feels like the old he's a nice guy kind of thing, like what's he look like? No, he's a nice guy though. No, but
handsome guy.
Yeah, he's like built though, right? No, he's nice, you know.
Shredded.
But what I was gonna say was before you jumped into the what our boy Sean Horkoff threw out there, hockey Twitter was having fun with the Detroit Red Wings account because they were like unbelievable 3 years to a guy who's never played a game in the NHL. And then there were people that were mad at those people making that joke because they were going a little meta there and making fun of other Red Wings
this
Twitter
quote, I think they're trying to talk, he's a young man, so he'd be playing in the juniors. But the way this quote reads from our director of player development, he, meaning Johansson, he's not able to do out there what he wants to do. But I don't think anyone really foresaw him playing in the men's league.
Yeah, that was kind of weird to read that. Well, we never thought he'd make it. We never thought he'd make it to the men's league, but we hear the NWHL is making a comeback. So
yeah,
I don't like. It's kind of like old Scrubs, Dr. Cox jokes, and the ones that don't work anymore because it's 2020. But anyway, no, I eventually I'll finish the story, but I just enjoyed hockey Twitter going back and forth and going a little meta with confusing the hell out of everyone that takes everything too seriously on Twitter. But essentially cracking the joke that, this is an entry-level deal. Of course, he hasn't played an NHL game. And getting like, probably, I don't know if this was like a game to get at like hockey bots, but then they were getting upset, like, as a follow-up to these tweets that he hasn't played an NHL game. And just, I don't know, it really rolled into just something fun to read. So if you want to go into those the comment thread for the Detroit Red Wings posting this signing, I highly recommend it. It's a good it's a good gag. All right,
so we know he's got a great brain, but it does look like the other points of reference here, like Hockey Prospect is a fan of him. It's just that we have so little news. We had to mention this.
Yeah.
He would have been buried in the second round somewhere. Maybe it'll turn out nicely. I think timeline wise, is this a little bit like when we got DeKaiser? He just kind of plopped onto our team. He wasn't like a draft pick. He was just kind of like a college free agent kind of thing.
Oh, DeKaiser? Yeah.
Yeah.
But this is totally different. This is us getting a second rounder. This is our fourth.
An early second rounder.
Our fourth overall pick in last year's draft.
Boom.
Late second round.
All right. Well, we haven't really watched him play, but there's some people.
No, I think overall what I wanted to say is at least these guys. So Sean Horkoff, and then there's McKean Taki. Johansson is a smart and skilled two-way defenseman. He reads the game well, defensively and offensively, and acts on it. He's calm. This looks like McKean Taki has like a list of things that they say about players, and they've filled in the circles for each one of these. But delivers good breakout passes, which is something the Red Wings desperately need. Long as well as short passes, he doesn't need much room or time to deliver them. So the guy will be strong on the puck if he's got, I don't know, I guess some tight play on him. So that's good to know. But overall, what are we gonna do? Just let him go? All right, Mike. Bigger news.
That's all we got.
Bigger news and some Twitter feuds here was Little Caesars Arena housing protesters for the Detroit police. And on the same day that the Red Wings also became the last professional sports team tied with the Detroit Tigers to make a comment. So yeah, tied for last.
I don't see the connection.
Making their obligatory Black Lives Matter post that was also one of the worst ones that had gone out because I think they had the one that did not even mention racism as an issue here. And on that same day that they became tied for last, they decided to use Little Caesars Arena to house protesters. Now, Mike, I think it's easy for right now. Let's just throw out our stand. Black Lives Matter. Educate yourself. We did since I had to edit the episode, we did about 30 minutes on our perspective on what's going on in the country on Brothers of Discussion. So I think the last thing we want to do here, Mike, is spend another 30 to 40 minutes discussing that. So if you guys want to see how, what our take is on this issue, head on over to the Brothers of Discussion and our most recent episode that went out this past Thursday, which was June 4th. That being said, fuck the Ilitch family on this. And the question, Mike, I think that's more important. So that's our perspective on this, on how the Red Wings handled making the obligatory comment. So you have to do it, right? Because every other sport or every other professional,
every corporate entity is doing it.
Yeah, right. That's not even say professional sports. Every corporation in the United States has made a comment on it. And of course, like I said, they were one of the last ones to do it. And then they make this decision on the same day to house protesters, and they try to do it quietly, but then the information got out. Mike, can you separate the owners from the team? Does this hurt? Like, are you allowed to let this hurt your fandom? Because this is what I got into an argument on Twitter. Very short argument that looked like it was, we're trying to maybe not take too strong of a stance to the thing that helps line our pockets kind of thing. Like, we have a podcast about the Detroit Red Wings, so is our official stance we hate the Detroit Red Wings? It's tough. It's tough to actually sit there and make that claim. So I threw out some examples. Chick-fil-A being one. They funded not only Donald Trump but anti-gay rights organizations, Chick-fil-A, the chicken sandwich company. And Mike, I ate at Chick-fil-A. There's the Home Depot versus Lowe's, and unfortunately when I go, like, I should be supporting Lowe's, right? Because their CEO is black, one of the few black CEOs in the country. They also support Black Lives Matter, and Home Depot supports Donald Trump. Unfortunately, Home Depot is a closer drive from my house, so if I was completely honest, I would tell you that I go to Home Depot more than I go to Lowe's, knowing all the facts. And number 3, Mike, is my favorite to bring up all the time. Woody Allen. Not exactly involved in Black Lives Matter. Hasn't made a comment on whether or not how he's been handling COVID-19. But I still love his movies, and he's kind of a monster who ended up marrying his adopted child. So I still watch Woody Allen movies and I laugh. So that's the thing. Like, I could sit there and say, man, fuck the Red Wings, fuck the Ilitch family. And I think I would have said, you can't separate the owners from the organization or a CEO or, separate the Ilitches from the Red Wings. But then this is my list of things I still participate in, knowing all the facts.
Yeah, I mean, with the Ilitches, when they asked for funding from the city to help build Little Caesars Arena, they were supposed to be making, they had these ambitious plans, all these, blueprints of how they're gonna, in a roadmap to boost the economy of the entire area.
Right.
We are still waiting for that to remotely occur. But roughly a couple of days into peaceful protests, Little Caesars has opened its arms to housing and jailing peaceful protesters. So
right, I think that was. I'm glad you said jailing. I kept saying housing, but it was housing for the Detroit police of the protesters that they didn't have enough jail space for. But
so, I mean, that's where your tax money went, because the citizens of Detroit, the owners of the stadiums don't exclusively pay for it. The people in the city pay for it. So you basically pay to jail your own protesters who are trying to better the community. So it's not a new argument on our show, because we've talked about separating the corporate entity from rooting for the players. I think this is just another way for us to further that valley for what we care about, where we're going to like the individuals who, just by proximity, we like the Detroit Red Wings because of where we live in Michigan. I just won't be, going to get little Caesar's Pizza anytime soon, which, was already a pretty easy decision based on the quality.
$3.99 right now if you do a mobile order.
Yeah, based on the quality, that was already a pretty easy decision. A comedian that I like, up until very recently with this, DoorDash explosion, he
Dave
said,
Coulier?
No, not Dave Coulier, not Red Wings legend.
As a Red
friend
Wings
of the
fan,
show, David Coulier.
There's only Dave Coulier.
And he just said, Little Caesars doesn't deliver, and I mean that literally and literally.
They do.
But now they do, so
Yeah.
they ruined that joke.
Yeah.
So that not only does their pizza suck, they make poor moral decisions. They've also ruined what was a great joke. So Little Caesars Arena, they're going to have a really tough time getting my money. If I have entertainment options, like maybe I'll take a trip to Cleveland to watch the Pistons play down there.
I was going to say, you know what you should do, Mike? Stop watching Red Wings games and go see all the Pistons games. That's how you can get back at the Ilitch family.
God, what a monopoly they took over there.
It does look like the Tigers are going to get sold soon, so we'll be able to go see Tigers games.
Yeah. I think the only surprising thing with this story is that it came up, and then just like a flash, people have not been, talking about it as much. So I don't know where Little Caesars, where the Ilitches, whose pockets they're lining to kind of keep this story a little more quiet than it probably should be.
Right.
But, Detroit, we're known for having a lot of black people, so Black Lives Matter is especially important in our area. We're so infamous for police brutality. It's just for us to have this example is really rotten. So
I think what we're doing, we're
starting to talk in circles, so let's just say, kind of distance ourselves from the Ilitches, and if you have an opportunity to, put your entertainment money elsewhere, that's what I would do.
So I think what we're doing is we're going to move forward and root for the Detroit Red Wings players. We're going to root for Steve Yzerman because we know where his heart's at. He genuinely actually wants to help the city of Detroit, and we've heard those words, and he's made motions to do so, so we're not necessarily going to cut the Red Wings out of our lives, Mike. But what we are going to do is cut the pubes off the front of our midsections. Because we are sponsored by Manscaped. That's right. The Lawnmower 3.0 you've heard us talking about for weeks now. I couldn't think
That's
of
a good transition, man. That was a good segue. I liked it.
Well, what's funny is you actually tried to go back and say, well, let's transition a different way. And I was like, no, I'm doing this. I thought of it. We're cutting our midsection down really high and tight because we've got our Manscaped, our Lawnmower 3.0. Mike, it's the redesigned electronic trimmer from Manscaped. It took them 18 months to perfect this thing. So not the first generation, not the second generation, but now they've perfected it with the third generation here. The advanced skin-safe technology is going to ensure that there's no nicks or cuts down in your midsection. When we tell you it's premium, goddamn, this is premium. We've got the LED light, which is going to illuminate your undercarriage there. You've got a 7,000 RPM motor with the quiet stroke technology. I'm almost ready to use that motor to clean my deck off, Mike. On the second deck, not my deck. My deck needs cleaning.
The scientists who put Manscaped together, they have like double the brain of Johansson. So he has a good brain. These are great brains. So you're just gonna explode.
Keep that Lawnmower 3.0 charged with their awesome USB charging dock, and of course with that quiet stroke technology there, you can get the job done and not wake anybody up. So if you want a chance to get your hands on the Lawnmower 3.0 for Manscaped, go to manscaped.com, use promo code THPN in regards to the Hockey Podcast Network, get 20% off and free shipping. Use promo code THPN, get 20% off and free shipping at manscaped.com, and you can get started trimming those nuts down to the skin. All right, Mike, we did it. Wow, we still went over on that. The other thing we wanted to do was a local restaurant shout out. That's something we probably should have been doing for a while now. But Mike, if you want to go first, because I think you've got your food's on its way. Would have been nice if you had we could have watched you eat it. That would
we got
been fun.
Yeah, we got a 60-minute DoorDash. We're good. Cuzzo's on 8 Mile. We got to start investing more into our black-owned restaurants. This is one of them. It's a really good one. They specialize in chicken and waffles. If you're new to the term Cuzzo's, that's how you pronounce it. You're going to see a K-U-Z-Z-O. And a Cuzzo, that's a term of endearment for one who is a family member or a friend. Or, Matt, it's also a person of a kindred person or nature. These are messages they have painted on the walls at this place. They have breakfast, they have lunch, but you're going there for the chicken and waffles. You will not be disappointed. I'm getting the Big Red. That is a red velvet waffle. And then you get your choice of wings or tenders. I went with some chicken tendies. Nice. And then they have excellent sides. I narrowed it down to mac and cheese, taters, or collard greens. And today I'm going to be doing the mac and cheese. So, yeah, give them your business, but be aware their hours do close at 8, but you want to order early because their DoorDash cuts off a little earlier just to make sure they can get all the orders out before their closing time at 8 p.m. So, Cuzzo's, check it out.
Mike, you have quite a few restaurants to choose from where you live. I'm embarrassed to say I live in Howell, Michigan.
Woo!
So I don't have the opportunity to say I've got a minority-owned restaurant to choose from because, anybody who lives in Michigan knows the story of Howell. My wife and I fight the good fight, and we try and spread the good word here in Howell, but sometimes it's to deaf ears. We've actually made it a mission of our own to say, you know what, this is like the middle point for our two jobs. This is why we picked Howell, just so everybody knows we didn't pick it for any other reason. But we said, you know what, let's stay here. When we started to learn what was going on, let's stay here and be like a part of the change. Like, let's be the people that can affect change. But essentially what I'm about to do is not do what Mike just did, but I'm going to tell you about M Street Bakery. Huge fan of M Street. If you guys go check out M Street Bakery on their website, it's mstreet.com, I believe. M Street Bakery, mstreetbaking.com. Sorry, mstreetbaking.com.
I thought you were going to say .org. I was going to be like, what?
They have amazing cupcakes. The cinnamon rolls are to die for. If you're in the Detroit area, they've been on Local 4 a ton since all the Corona and COVID stuff started because they've been going on there and sharing recipes. So you may already know them, but they're right down the street from me, and I love giving them my money because they do such a great job. All right, that's mstreetbacon.com. Can't get enough of it. I don't have any codes to give out because we're kind of just doing a favor here. But, Mike, let us transition into the 2004 NHL Draft as we continue running down every draft. Hopefully, I don't think we'll be able to get to it, but hopefully we should do the maths. If we can get to the 2019 draft like the week before the actual draft takes place. We're obviously not going to do it before the lottery, but all of this is helping us inform what we want to do and the perspectives we're going to have once we go into the 2020 draft here, and just how incredibly difficult it is to like line up anything past like the first few picks and have that actually work out for your team. So I think even in this draft, we're going to see pick number 3 not work out. So it really is a crapshoot, you guys. Like, you can do all of the, watch TSN all day and read all your athletic articles, watch guys play for 5 minutes on YouTube and you become an expert. But all of that may be for naught if they
read some Johan scouting reports. None of that matters, man.
Right.
No matter how big your brain is.
I think the more interesting thing to me has always been reviewing things after they've already happened, because I always get frustrated with the previews because almost none of it could happen, and what did we do? But that seems to get more in play anyway, so here we are not doing a preview, but a review of the 2004 NHL Draft. I dubbed it the year that helped create the Metropolitan Division because we needed to make sure that the Pittsburgh Penguins and the Washington Capitals faced off a ton every year. And this year we had Ovechkin and Malkin drafted, and of course the next year we'll see Sidney Crosby go. But I was thinking about it, like that was something they forced in. It's kind of the same as Big Ten and the way that they worked their divisions out for football to make sure that Michigan and Ohio State were facing off at the end of every season. Like they put them in different right there. Am I right? Did they put them in the different divisions, or did they need to be in the same? Is it see, I don't like college football, but I know something happened to where Michigan and Ohio State had to change divisions so that they could play each other at the end of every season. Mike, that's a whole nother story for another day, but college sports to me, oof, I don't know. All right, moving on.
Not big on that. Huh?
Not my favorite. And of course, this was the 2004 NHL Draft, which means no hockey was played this year. All of these draft picks were not going to get an opportunity to test their legs, which is very interesting because we could have another lockout coming, which means we're going to see some things here of I'm gonna mention how many games were played and points scored kind of thing, and we're gonna see the numbers take a dip from the previous season. So could that be because of the lockout? We don't really know, but it's something to kind of pull from that. And then this will be Pittsburgh drafting Marc-Andre Fleury the year before, getting Evgeni Malkin this year, and then Sidney Crosby the following year. So really, because of this lockout, if any team benefited from it, Pittsburgh Penguins all the way. But all right, Mike, 14 played 800 plus games. So what I was talking about before, we can make the argument. You know what? If we go another couple of seasons, since we're getting closer to where a lot of guys are still playing hockey, we could see this number go up. But we had 25 guys the year before had played 800 plus games, and now we're knocking 11 people off that list down to 14. And then one played 1,000 plus games, which is Alex Ovechkin. So I'm making the argument, I think we're going to stop tracking that after this season because, again, there's going to be a few more guys cracking that. But it was 14 the year before. We just need some more seasons to play. Maybe one more season for some guys to crack that. So it's something that's more or less just an effect of time and the fact that these guys are still playing hockey. And we've got 25 guys have played up through this season, not comparing to last year because, again, it really is, you get a whole nother season of these guys being 18, they were 17 the year before. So that's, again, it's hard to compare the 2 years. But 25 guys from the 2004 draft are still playing this year. So, Mike, why don't we go into the scouting department winners?
Yeah, I think obviously the team that got one of the great goal scorers in the history of skates on ice and
the greatest goal scorer
in
NHL history. Matt is saying
Breaking
now
news.
the greatest goal scorer in NHL
news.
history was drafted this year.
He's a guy who he might catch Gordie Howe. Who knows? I just love what the Capitals did. It's something I think the Red Wings theoretically want to do, where you tank, and then you get a top pick. So the Capitals got to draft first, and the year basically that year before at the trade deadline, they just bottomed out. They gave up on Robert Lang. They gave up on Sergei Gonchar. They gave up on Michael Nylander. Yeah, which didn't. He was fine in the playoffs. Didn't end up amounting to anything. We didn't get a cup on the Robert Lang coattails.
I remember being excited though. We talked about it in the last episode. I remember jumping on a payphone and calling Dad and being like, "Oh my god!" But
was some of that excitement though because Robert Lang had a similar haircut as Jaromir Jagr, so you thought you were picking up Jagr just a little?
No. Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, that's like his profile picture on like the video game. He had that same kind of mullety look coming out, like the flowing lion locks coming out of the bottom of his helmet.
Well, the better question is, did Robert Lang?
The secondary question. That's a good question. What's your question?
Did he think all
what
of
do
his
you got
goal
for
scoring
us?
power came from the hair, and then
Was
once
that
he
his
started cutting
strong?
it down, huh?
That was his strength. It came from his hair. But yeah, I mean, the Capitals, they were already going to get a good pick because they, played like crap and purposefully tanked to get a chance at a historically excellent looking prospect who turned into a historically excellent NHL player.
Yep.
But I mean, they had 4 of the top 33 picks, which is pretty incredible. And they basically hit on 3 out of 4, which is very, very good. You wouldn't want to make all those moves and then, fuck them up. You don't want to be one of our scouting department losers, which we're going to get to in a minute. But obviously, the Capitals drafted some Alexandre, Ovechkin, Mike Green, who he was part of that trade, Matt, with the Red Wings when we got Robert Lane. The first-round pick the Red Wings gave up turned into Mike Green.
Yep.
And then they also got Jeff Schultz. And let me double-check the old notes here. I believe they drafted a Bork at 33. Yes, they did. They drafted he escaped out of Ray Bork's body, became an NHL player. Chris Bork.
Woo!
Didn't really amount to much,
Bork.
but he did play some NHL games. So, I mean, 3 out of 4 of their picks. Excellent job there.
Well, it's funny too because they franchise affecting players, and then but they don't win their Stanley Cup until Mike Green sets sail to Detroit. But I still like the effect of this turns this Capitals team into, I mean, for years, just a staple on NHL on NBC, or when it used to be on Versus was the big channel that we were on.
Oh, Versus, yeah.
So I mean, this really changed the NHL. This is, I mean, when you still talk about, you talk to a casual NHL fan, or maybe one who's not, just I'm a sports fan and sometimes I'll watch hockey. This is one of the names that still comes up is Ovechkin and then Crosby. So this is the start of what the NHL has been for 15 years now, is Ovechkin getting drafted. Because even though Malkin's going to help the Penguins become the Penguins, that's no. I mean, I respect I respect the fuck out of Malkin, and I think just like last week we talked about Datsuk being one of the top 100 players. Malkin should easily be in that conversation.
Matt going out
like
on a limb and saying Malkin was pretty good.
Well, he didn't make the NHL's top 100 list, so I'm saying fuck him for not putting him on there.
That's the Russian bias,
Absolutely is. But yeah, I guess that's kind of where this conversation's coming from. Is I'm talking Datsuk, Ovechkin, and Malkin. But anyways, let's jump into some other winners. I put the Canucks on this with Corey Schneider and Alex Edler, and then they do get a 400 games out of I guess a 400 career game out of Mike Brown. So not exactly killing it like the Washington Capitals, but of course Capitals get so many first round picks, you're going to do a lot better. But still, some good work there by the Canucks. And then we already brought up Pittsburgh, but they're getting Evgeni Malkin, but Alex Goligoski, and then Tyler Kennedy, part of the Stanley Cup winning.
Kennedy!
Then we had to watch and read that name and see that name during our Stanley Cup winning season and the next year.
What? Yeah, I think you read some good teams off there. Had good scouting. I just want to throw Nashville in there as well, because we were updating, from last show's notes when Nashville had Ryan Suter and Shea Weber the year before. So then this year they get Alexandre Radulov and Red Wing killer Pekka Rinne, all 6 foot. I'm gonna say 6'11" of them. He's got to be the biggest goalie of all time. God. And Matt, he's going to come up a little bit later in our show because, he wasn't drafted in the first, second, third, fourth. This dude was buried down there. So many teams skipped on him. And he was just an absolute terror. Still playing today.
He's our
and terrorizing the NHL.
Our Datsuk Diamond in the Rough winner.
He absolutely is.
Drafted at 258.
Yeah, he sure was. He's a 4-time runner-up for the Vezina. And then eventually, he did take it home in 2017 and 18. Career 91.7 save percentage. So far, he's played 645 games, won 359 of them. 58 shout-outs, Matt. I don't know why I don't know. I think it's just me who still files that stat. I mean, he's still competent, by the way, at age 37. This year he's 35, 18, and 14. Matt, he also, I know it's a stat that it's a little tough to read for goalies, but for point share, number 3, behind the greatest goal scorer in NHL history, Ovechkin, and the Russian guy who doesn't get enough credit, Mr. Malkin. So, very impressive career for Pekka. Drafted at 250.
I'd like to continue the easy transitions here and throw Pekka Rinne on the Good Boy Award as well. So he's helping Nashville win scouting. He's the Datsuk Diamond in the rough. He's also taken home the Good Boy Award as having a successful career and sticking with one team. That also means we get to transition into throwing out Evgeni Malkin again and Alex Ovechkin. We've got David Krejci on there and Travis Zajac. Krejci from Boston Bruins and Zajac from the New Jersey Devils. All successful careers, all with one team. Gotta love it. Good Boy Award going to those fellers.
Well, do we include Johan Franzen? Drafted
No.
by the Red Wings this season.
We're looking
played
for
his whole career with the Red Wings.
Let me
And then
test the
additionally-
microphone. Good careers.
Oh. Well, I think we're still paying his contract, so I think he's still a Red Wing to this day.
Well, yeah. I mean, if I had a Red Wings contract that lasted that long, I think I'd be happy with it. But does that mean I have a good career with the Detroit Red Wings?
Certainly does.
Okay, well, there we go. Yeah, Johan Franzen, number 6 on the list.
Well, hey, let's dive into the Red Wings real quick. Their first rounder, as we mentioned a moment ago, it became Mike Green, drafted by the Capitals, and we gave that up for Robert Lang. Excellent Jaromir Jagr haircut. But Matt, the Red Wings almost made our list of worst scouting of the season. Of their draft picks, they only had one player actually lace him up in the NHL, and it was Johan Franzen. Obviously, it's a little bit tougher to, get top tier talent when your first pick's not until the third round. But yeah, after Franzen, they had exactly 0 man games. At the main event level there. But Johan, outside of the injuries, he was a really good power play performer, dude you could count on for power play goals. He contributed in that 08 Cup team.
Absolutely.
It's just, he's a big guy. I remember there's always that hot debate. Do we give him the big contract or Marian Hossa? That's something you could still queue up, on a lot of, like sports talk shows. We're going to do it now. No, we're not. It's just, it's unfortunate what happened to Johan. He seemed like such a good dude, and yeah, it's just I don't think the concussion research was there. It's almost like, unfortunately, we needed him to occur to kind of take it a little more seriously and see the ramifications of brain injuries. You can't just shake it off. It's the fucking bruise in your brain. So, woo. I don't know. I miss Johan. I miss the potential there, and it's just unfortunate that we didn't do a strong enough job diagnosing what happened to him.
He's definitely a Red Wing career that we'll look back fondly. But when it started to wrap up, you still had that feeling in the pit of your stomach of like, oh my God, we could have had Marian Hossa this whole time, and watching him win cups with the Blackhawks and. He had a good time in Detroit. It was just about us making that decision on who we were going to pay, and he wasn't going to make his contract work so we could have the guy that we drafted, Hossa, I'm speaking about. And I think we wanted to double down on our own draft pick. But like I said, as we move forward, we're going to look back at that Johan Franzen career and what he did for us in 08 and 09. And of course, anytime we played the Ottawa Senators, he lightened them up. So that was he'd go 30 games, no goals, and then 5 goals against the Senators, and he'd be right back at the top of the Red Wings list for goals per game. All right. So anything else we missed? We had a couple of losers. The Atlanta Thrashers drafted a total of 82 man games played. So what we mean is everyone they drafted in the 2004 draft totaled 82 main games. There's one guy who got 80 games, and then two guys played one game. And then, we have the Kings. Mike, you threw on this list.
Yeah, they drafted 11th. So they get to go down one notch from being the worst to, Atlanta having a top 10 pick, and the Kings are in there as a top 11. But yeah, they were pumped to burn their pick on a right wing who very quickly petered out. And all they had to do was take either of the next two right wings who were selected, in either Drew Stafford or our boy Alexandre Radulov, and they would have fared much better. But I do want to make one quick note for the Kings. Not a lot of success in this draft, but they did draft the first Japanese-born player to play in the NHL. That was Yutaka Fukufuji. He's a goaltender. Managed to play 4 games. And one time, Matt, did a little digging. His coach at the time, Mark Crawford, for the Kings, was very excited because Fukufuji stopped a Doug Weight shot. Short-lived career, though, for the gentleman. He only got to play 4 games at the NHL level, but still kind of cool that the Kings took a flyer on, the first Japanese player. So he came up in an emergency situation because of some goaltending injuries, and he got to have that little moment there. So, yeah, just a cool little note.
Oh. I want to do like some Who Wants to Be a Millionaire lighting. Mike, it's time for our top redrafting of the top 10, and our notes are wrong here. The 2004 NHL Draft. This is going to be, Mike, we talked about it before we started. This is going to start pretty easy. Did you go first on the last one, or did I? Okay, we have this conversation every single episode. I can never remember.
I remember.
I'm going to look at the draft.
You can go first on this one. Yeah.
Let me look. Let's see what we did here. Nope. Of course, I clicked on the wrong thing. Go
first. You earned it.
All right. Let me just start. Capitals. Greatest goal scorer of all time is going to head on down to Washington. What a shocker. Do you pass on the greatest goal scorer of all time, in my opinion? No. Alex Ovechkin, head on down to Washington.
Boom.
Easy peasy.
No brainer there. Pittsburgh, a lot of options here. But we're going to go with, maybe the second best player from, I'm going to do 3. 1, 2, 3. Give me Datsuk, Ovechkin, and then Malkin. We'll do the third best Russian of all time. Matt, give me Malkin. 3-time Stanley Cup winner. Still excellent today. My God, Matt, it's 2020. This dude is still only 33. He's still going to terrorize the NHL for maybe like 7-8 more seasons. Jesus Christ. A goal scorer, a guy gets assists. In this league where goaltenders actually wear pads now. Suck it, Gretzky. He's a guy who's actually gotten 100-point seasons. He's a leader. He's a playoff performer. He's got a better mustache than Sidney Crosby. Give me Malkin all day. They're not going to regret this pick at all. They're going to do it again in this redraft.
Well, so here's where our first problem pops up, and the Blackhawks are drafting Cam Barker, who's a defenseman. So do I continue to go in regards to where the Blackhawks scouting department was headed?
They were so terrible. I think you just take best on the board because they sucked.
Yeah. So that was kind of the conclusion I was coming to, and I think what I want to do here is I'm really going to shake it up, because if they were looking at this and they're like, all right, what am I going to do to help my team get the most amount of wins? I'm going to go with Pekka Rinne. We're going to get them career guy. You know what? Regardless of what we do year after year, of making fun of Pekka Rinne or saying he has it or he doesn't have it, and maybe he has a good playoff or maybe he doesn't, you can't argue that he did not help the Nashville Predators kind of get to where they're at right now. Obviously, he's surrounded by one of the best defensive cores. But you know what? The Blackhawks defensive core, when they were winning the Cups, was not too shabby. So I think this is a huge upgrade over the Corey Crawford years. Maybe they knock out the Red Wings when we were making it to our second straight Stanley Cup final. when they have Pekka Rinne in net instead of Niemi. So we'll see how that shakes out. But I am taking Pekka Rinne at number 3.
Matt, you son of a bitch. I was thinking about taking him. That moves us into the Carolina Hurricanes, who originally took Andrew Ladd. It's not a bad pick there. I don't know if I really have to adjust too much. I mean, the Hurricanes really at this point, could have just taken best available. Their 04 team was, it was all right. Their top scorer was Vasicek. They also had like Eric Cole, Brindamore, Jeff O'Neill, Eric Stahl there. Goodness gracious. They just need everything at this point. They're playing Kevin Weeks, goalie, who, I was a little bit of a fan of. Screw it. Hurricanes, you know what? You're taking the Coyotes' dreams and you're going to ruin them. So instead of a left wing, give me Blake Wheeler. He played up to his draft position. A dude who got 634 points. Again, another dude who. This is an incredible draft in that these guys, we're getting to a point where they're too young now for us to like include some of our categories.
Yeah.
But the dude is still he's 33. He's still playing 70, 80 game seasons. My God, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Wow, 7 times this dude's played the whole season. Not all of them for the team that drafted him. Unfortunately, he's been getting a lot of his wheeling and dealing out in Winnipeg. But dude, at the end of his career, he's really starting to blossom. Making it to all-star teams. Actually getting Hart Trophy votes. I think they're going to be happy with that upgrade there. Matt, do you have any thoughts on Wheeler?
I mean, it's a fantastic pick. I don't know. I think everything you listed off, I would take Blake Wheeler over Andrew Ladd. Take a look at what's going on right now in both of their careers. I think I don't know. It's definitely spun around in the other direction, but I know I need to start talking about the Coyotes. I'm trying to figure that out. God damn it. Fucker.
That's okay.
What? No, I'm taking. Yeah, let me jump in here. I'm gonna take David Krejci. I think you can't go. You couldn't. You're not gonna look at your team and go, well, I've got too many centers, especially where the Coyotes are drafting in the top 10 year after year, and they're not really. I mean, we can look at them now. The only change they've made, effectively, is going from being the Phoenix Coyotes to the Arizona Coyotes. That's the only major change the Coyotes have seen in regards to their chances at a Stanley Cup or whatever the organization's been doing. So let's shake this up. They went Blake Wheeler. He obviously didn't finish his career there. So let's see if David Krejci heads over instead of going to Boston. We'll see some changes there. Hey everybody, thanks for tuning in to episode 62. And again, unfortunately, we couldn't finish the episode for you due to some audio technical difficulties, but we do have picks 6 through 10 found in the show notes below. So if you're not there yet, head on over to youtube.com/Brothers of Discussion to check out everything for episode 62, including who we picked 6 through 10. Go ahead and throw in the comments what you think there. You can also find us on Instagram at brothers_of_discussion for a joint account for both all of our pro wrestling coverage and the Detroit Red Wings, and we have our specific Detroit Red Wings Twitter account at BOD Hockey. So head on over there, check all that fun stuff out. We thank you so much. And of course, next week we'll give you a quick recap of what we were thinking on the draft for picks 6 through 10. And we'll jump into the 2005 NHL Draft. So thank you so much for tuning in, and have a great week. Hi everybody, this is Matt Klink of the Brothers of Discussion, reminding you that you can find the Brothers of Discussion at bodpodcast.com, brothersofdiscussion.com. Find us on Twitter at bodpodcast, and of course we are bringing you content every Thursday, if not during every Monday Night Raw, every NXT show, every AEW Dynamite, every SmackDown, every pay-per-view, every major show happening in the United States. The Brothers of Discussion are covering it, so if you want good wrestling coverage, come to the Brothers of Discussion. Thanks, everybody.